All right, here we go.
Did you flip the lights on?
No, because we have to turn back off.
Okay.
All right, this is the main entrance. There's a staircase that goes up to the second floor. Then on up to the attic, there's another staircase. This was our setup room. We had all our equipment, which we've already packed back up in the SUV, which is completely packed. Right now, everything is carpeted in the floor. This here was the caretaker, the superintendent's quarters.
Talk about the corner back there, why it's round.
No, we're not going to go into that. We got so much to go through. Let's walk through real quick.
Okay.
All right, so right now this here is the original building from 50 something?
55.
55? Okay. This was our kitchen we had while we was here. Microwave, fridge, sink, everything. And there's a bathroom back there in the corner. All right. Now, everything in this building was separated by male, female. There's no racial separation. It was all by gender. Left side over here was the male side. And then right side over here was the female side. So they got living quarters on the right side down here for females, and the other one's on the left side. We're going to go ahead and walk down the female side for right now. Once you walk in, you also got more stairs going upstairs.
To the second floor.
To the second floor. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sets of staircases going up. We're going to walk down through here. Give you a little bit of history of some of the places in here, some of these rooms and who stayed here. I'll let Christina go and tell you about this one.
Well, this is a little boy, Noah, who was 9 years old, and he had passed away, unfortunately, from measles. And he lived here at this place with his mom. A lot of activity is taken in this room. He still plays with his toys. One of the toys I'm going to point out to you is this one right here. He actually moves it. We did bring him a couple of cars over here from home to play with.
Actually, we purchased, but not from home.
Yeah.
So that's Noah's room. We're going down the hallway here. All right, let's see. Not that one. Oh, this one here.
This is Doris's room. Doris lived here since she was 11 years old.
And from the age of 11 until she actually died here at the age of 81, she was the cook for the whole building.
She cooked for 70 years here. And over here you see her collection of dolls. That's her original dolls that she collected over the years.
And then over here we have more dolls that people have actually brought for her.
Right, and we did.
And we brought one. Where's ours at?
Right over there.
Yeah, the one back here in the corner. That was the one we brought her. Okay, and that's Doris's room. I'll show you her kitchen later when we get downstairs in the basement. Okay, every floor is the exact same. At the end of the hallway to the right is the female's chapel. And if you go to the left, at the end of the hallway is the male chapel. This is where they had services. And it looks the exact same on the other side because this place is so huge. I don't want to take you through every room. It's just too big. Here's the other staircase at the end. There's another one at the male's end. That's the female staircase. This was at the end of the hallway we just walked down to begin with. Is their recreational area.
For the females.
For the females. The males have their own. Now we're walking from the females over to the males area, of course.
So
that's the males recreation. Down there is the male chapel. And that's the hallway back down to the main entrance. And you see the staircase down there, and there's another staircase right down here, which actually we'll go ahead and go upstairs first.
Right.
I'm sorry, this is going to take a little while because this place is 58,000 square feet. So it's going to take a little while, so I'm trying to kind of rush it because I don't know how long this video will last to get onto Facebook or whatever. This is the second floor. You have the same thing up here. This end is the mills. This was the chapel.
Right.
At the far end down there was the females' end, and that was the chapel. On the left here, where these doors are open, that was the male recreation. On the right is the female recreation. You have the long hallways saying on the female side, this is the male side. Now, right here, we have a jail cell.
They actually held court up in the attic, actually. They did have a judge.
He was not actually legal. He was retired, a judge. But they did hold services at court. And for anyone that's just misbehaving in here, because it was an asylum, they'd act up. They would have a court and sentence them to stay overnight in the jail cell to calm down. Down here on the right, do you remember his name? Right here it is. Dottie. Yeah, John Dottie. He was 81 years old. They were actually cleaning windows one day. He cleaned this here on the inside by standing on chairs up. At the outside, he couldn't get the top of it. So he lifted the window, got out on the edge, and started cleaning it. Well, there's two punks that lived in here, young kids, that came in and flipped him out the window. He fell and died. Okay, now we're back down to second floor near the entrance. This is a staircase come from there. And of course that's going to the female side, but we're going to go back down here. This is, as you can tell, carpeted, still the superintendent's area. This is actually where we slept last night. And that bed right there, of course we didn't sleep in the bed. We had sleeping bags, we laid on top of it. And we slept right there. Now we're going to take you on upstairs to the attic, which is extremely interesting. Lead the way, Christina.
Yes, I am.
Because you're going to need a flashlight. Actually, you can turn the lights on when we get up there.
You can never do that for me.
Yep. That's the door to the attic. And as you can tell, it is going to be a huge attic. It goes way down there. You also got more back here. And it goes back in the dark. But down here, at the far end of this attic, this is where the judge held the court cases down here on this end. Oh. As you can tell, it's a long walk. I'm already getting tired again. But yeah, and the judge is known to be seen up here. We did capture him on SLS a couple times last night.
Yeah, behind that.
A lot of the stuff that we may have captured, we won't know until later when we do our reviewing.
Yeah.
Oh, and that's the, shine over here, ladder going upstairs to the roof.
110 years old ladder.
Yeah, 110 years old.
And they have a cube up on top
Yeah.
of it.
All right, we're gonna walk back down this way. We spent about an hour and a half sitting up here in these chairs and doing some investigating in the pitch black. Love this kid on the tricycle here.
Yeah.
This is pretty interesting, just to show you. He's got his hand sewn to his face. All right. Now we can go down to the fun place, the best place in the building. The basement. Which is all the way down 4 flights of stairs. This has been our second investigation we've done since we've been on vacation. Our first one was kind of a bust. It wasn't that great. We stayed at a haunted house, but we didn't get a whole lot of activity. There's our car out there. But we still had a good time. A little frustrating because we had issues, but last night was actually really good. That's the main entrance, of course. This is the male first floor hallway. Now we're going to go over here and downstairs to the basement. Now, of course, this is quite dark. This is only part of the superintendent's quarters that is not carpeted. The basement, of course. This is just more or less his storage area. He kept all his stuff and did laundry and everything.
Right.
All right, now, if you can see, turn the light off for a second, Christina. There you go. This is daytime. It's still dark out there in the hallways. It was pitch black last night when we was down here.
Yeah, no, nothing.
No, nothing. You couldn't see in front of you. All right, I guess we'll go down this side first.
Yes.
Of course, as usual, female side, but that's just the way the building is built. More staircases going up. Is this a cholera? No, this is actually a room where a female named, what was her name? Lulu.
14.
Lulu was 14 years old. She was in this asylum with her dad, actually stepdad. They ended up putting them in a room together. Believe it or not, the 14-year-old little girl became pregnant by the stepdad. He was arrested and sent off to prison. However, she stayed here until the day she died and had 2 more children. This is one place where she actually tried to hide when she was being raped. This room right here to the right, I think it was the 1920s.
Yeah, 1920s.
The county here had a bad outbreak of cholera. As you can see here, this is a storage for meat. It's got air conditioning and everything. That's where they kept all their frozen meat.
They hung meat up there.
And they hung meat up here. There's some hooks hanging right here where they hang the meat up and everything. This here is a oak tree from outside that was cut down in the 1850s. They used that for actually cutting the meat on. And it's still here. Now, when the cholera broke out, it started to spread throughout the asylum. And a lot of people died. What they ended up doing is bringing the bodies down here. On this table right here is where they would drain their blood and fill them with formaldehyde. They don't have a drain in this floor. They still don't have it. They never did. The blood just more or less went onto the floor. And of course, it's cholera. So once they all died, they started stacking them up until they could transport them somewhere to bury them or at a mass grave. But during the summertime, it started to smell and stuff. So they ended up stacking the bodies in the freezer.
In the cooler, yeah.
With all the meat. Not a good idea. But after that was all gone and completed, instead of actually cleaning up all the blood and everything, what they ended up doing, as you can tell, this is new concrete, fairly new, probably 50 years old maybe, but they reconcreted about 1 foot of concrete over top of the bloody floor. And you can tell because if you look over here, shine a light, Christina, this door is only about 4 feet tall. It's back behind there, you can hardly see it. It's about a 4 foot tall door because you got about 2 feet of concrete covering it up. All right, we're gonna move on here because we're running short on time. Going on back down the hallway a little further. All right, nothing interesting in those rooms really. Coming down to where it splits off. Oh, this is pretty interesting. Go down here. You have the old, you guys probably, a lot of you have never even seen anything like this.
Coal.
This is a water heater.
Coal.
That is run on coal. Now this here is probably 140, 50 years old, I don't know. But if you can see the door there on the bottom where the coal goes into, well, last night me and Christina found that door open, even though it was closed when we first came in here. We closed it up again, checked again this morning, it was still closed, so I don't know when they opened it or what, but they did. This is a laundry room. One of the few places in the whole building where men and women could actually work together because it was the only laundry room. All right, we're going back down this way. I'm not going to tell you about the spirits and stuff and ghosts that they claim around here right now, but we're going to move on because it's too much to it. This is the kitchen. This is where Doris, we told you about earlier, with all the dolls, where she cooked for 70-something years.
There's actually a picture of her right here.
Yeah, there is a picture of her right here. This is Doris. When she worked here in this kitchen, standing in front of this table. All right, now, she had a fairly decent-sized kitchen. She had another freezer in here for where she used to keep the food that she was cooking for that week or whatever, I guess. I don't know. I don't know how she ran her system. But this was her big kitchen.
And people actually bring flowers here.
Yeah, they bring flowers for her, and they leave money on the table, hope to see if she'll move them for her and everything else.
Yeah.
She's known to be very active, and on one TV show, she yelled down the hallway and scared an investigator pretty good by yelling out hello. All right, we're going, this is back down the men's side now. The opposite of the laundry room is down this way. This is where they're still learning. They haven't found any evidence of it. It's supposedly a guy named Anthony.
6.
Or they also know him as Tony, but he supposedly slept right here. But his job, while he was here, was to take coal. Any flashlight, Christina?
Yeah.
This is where they would deliver the coal for the building. They would deliver it through that chute up there, and they'd pile it up in this room here. And Anthony's job was to shovel the coal from there into the furnace down here to keep heat going. This is the furnace. And that's where he would shovel the coal in and keep it nice and warm in the whole building. And supposedly, he slept right here in between the coal and the furnace. He just laid a cot right there and slept. The reason they're saying Anthony is because they capture a lot of voices on
And
EVP.
there's an A.
On EVP, saying one of them said Anthony 6, the other one said Tony 6. And they found it here. There is an A carved into it. They don't know what his last name was, and there's another A on the other side. So they think this is where he actually slept in because he worked here. 6, I forgot what the 6 represented.
I don't remember.
For 6 years or something, I don't know. But anyways, this is where he worked. And that is pretty much the majority of the inside of this building. So, Ida. Oh, I'm sorry. No, we have not finished. Actually, we got Ida and we got, what's his name? Mr. Hammerhead. Walter. This was Walter's room where they kept him to keep him busy. We talked to Walter a little bit last night. Walter was here. He was a little mentally issues, but he wanted to help out around here by fixing things. So they gave him hammer and nails, I don't know why, and screws and stuff. And he'd come in here and he would try to fix this table. And here's how he fixed them. If Christina would get out of the way here. He just put a whole bunch of nails and screws straight into the wood. Everywhere. He even fixed the wall. But yeah, he would just be in here hammering and screwing nails into stuff. He's got it all over the place. And this is a laundry chute, but that's coming from another room, which we ain't gonna get into that. But last night, we did get him on the SLS, swinging his hammer away. All right, and that's pretty much, what's his name again? Walter's room. That's not where he stayed, that's just where they put him to keep him busy. He actually slept upstairs somewhere. Then you have Ida Gunkel. And she was here for 1 year, from 1938 to 39, something like that.
1937 to 1938.
She was left here after her husband died from syphilis. She got syphilis from her husband, and it affected her brain, and they had her upstairs, but sometimes she would just run around up and down the hallways upstairs naked or whatever, defecating on herself in the middle of the floor and everything else. So what they ended up doing is bringing her down here where they had bars. Whenever she acted up, and kept her here. She was only here for 1 year. One night she asked the caretakers wife if she could have a broom to sweep up her room. She gave her a broom, left her here, and then the next morning they found her hanging from this broom. Well, it ain't this broom specifically, we don't know which one it was. But what she had done is cut some strings off of her mattress, cut her mattress and stuff, tied her around her broom, hung herself from up there. It was leaning forward because her feet were still touching the ground. So even though she was too tall to actually hang herself straight up in the small room. So she had to actually lean forward and finish the job herself, which most human beings couldn't do, but she wasn't all there to begin with. And I think that covers everybody in the room, or in the building, at least the majority of them. So that was where we stayed at last night. We were here up, 16 hours, and we were up till 4 in the morning this morning. All right, and we finally went to bed, and then I got up at 6 and started packing up, and Christina got up at 7 and helped me finish. All right, if you enjoyed this, let us know. We're getting ready to head to Ashmore, Illinois, and do another asylum for 24 hours. And we'll probably make a video there too. Enjoy.
Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.